Are you ready to add something crazy, chaotic, and fun to the agenda for your next family game night? Well, today on this episode of Fresh from the Cellar, a series where I preview new and upcoming board games, we're going to be talking about a super fun and quick new card game called Hoard The Hams. This one is brought to you by the folks behind Haminations, a YouTube channel telling funny stories with even funnier animations. And if you're somehow not one of their over 6 million subscribers yet, then what are you waiting for? But anyways, today we're talking about this bad boy, so if you want to know more about Hoard The Hams, then might I suggest... Hi, I'm Alex from Might I Suggest a Game, a channel devoted to helping you find your perfect board game. And on today's episode of Fresh from the Cellar, we're going to be doing something that you've never done before. We're going to hoard some hams. Hoard the Hams is a fast-paced and chaotic card game for 3 to 6 players from Wombo Combo Games, who helped sponsor this video. Once you've made it through the video and you know everything there is to know about Hoard the Hams, you can go grab it at the Wombo Combo Games website, which you can find at the link in the description below. And while you're there, don't forget to hit subscribe and that little bell button so you can get notified when I post new content. Anyways, in today's video, I'm going to give you a brief overview of how to play so you can get the general gist of the game. I'm going to talk about some of the things I liked and some of the things that maybe I didn't like about the game. And then I'm going to talk about the types of people that I think would really enjoy this game. My whole goal of all of this is that when you get to the end of this video, you should have a great idea of whether or not you want to get this game. So anyways, let's get into it. Will Hoard the Hams be the perfect game for you? Let's find out, shall we? The object of Hoard the Hams is actually quite simple. All you gotta do is figure out how to get the hams from your hand into your hoard. Seems pretty easy, right? But wait, if you think your hoard is safe and your hams are just gonna sit there waiting for you to score them at the end of the game, then think again, because in this game you can and you will be stealing from your opponents.
Oh, he's stealing! He's stealing!
The real question is, can you pull off a dastardly ham heist without getting counterspelled by your target? Or maybe you're more of the defensive type and you'd rather jury-rig your hoard with some trap hams and dare your opponents to push their luck. Either way, at the end of the game, if you end up with the most points in your hoard based on the hams you've collected, as well as an extra bonus for whomever has the most thick hams. That's right, we're talking thick hams.
Girl, you're thicker than a bowl of oatmeal.
Then you win, and you can claim the title of hottest ham hoarder this side of the Mississippi, or, you know, something like that. Anyways, let's get a little more in-depth into the gameplay. To start the game, shuffle the deck and deal everyone 7 cards. Then, everyone will get a chance to populate their hoards by taking a hoarding action. What's a hoarding action, you say? I thought you never asked. When you take a hoarding action, you'll be adding hams from your hand into your hoard. You can technically hoard just 1 ham at a time, but it's way more efficient to hoard using a match, a run, or, of course, a ham sandwich. Matches are just 2 or more hams of the same color. Runs are 1 ham of each of the 3 colors, blue, green, and orange. And a ham sandwich is exactly that. 2 matching hams with a different ham in the middle. You'll want to hoard using a match, a run, or a ham sandwich as much as possible, not only for the sheer quantity of hams, but also when you play one of these combos, you can add in a trap ham to the top of the stack to protect all those precious hams you just hoarded. Anyways, once everyone has hoarded once, you'll draw back up to 7 cards and start the game with the goofiest player going first. Personally, I just tell everyone to tell their best dad joke, and usually it's pretty obvious by the end who should be going first. Okay, now that we're ready to start, here's what you can do on your turn. You can take a hoarding action like we talked about before and play a match, a run, a ham sandwich, or even just a single ham from your hand into your hoard. Or you can play an action card, and this is where things get really spicy. Action cards are split into 3 main categories. You've got the purple cards, which are steal actions that essentially allow you to manipulate other people's hoards and then steal hams from them. You've got pink cards, which are self-help actions and can give you extra cards, extra hams, or even extra actions. And then you've got blue cards, which are hand actions and will, as the name suggests, allow you to mess with other people's hands. In addition to these 3 categories of action cards, there are also 6 reaction cards that you can play out of turn to negate some of the negative effects that other people might be throwing at you. Anyways, on your turn, you can usually only use 1 action, unless of course a card like Double Dip says differently. And once you're done resolving the action, you'll draw back up to 7 cards and pass play clockwise to the next player. If you end your turn with more than 7 cards though, you'll get to add hams into your hoard 1 at a time until you're back down to 7, which is not a bad deal if you ask me. Anyways, in this game you're always trying to be 1 step ahead of your opponents, and you really want to be the one that pulls off that
ultimate wombo combo.
What's the ultimate wombo combo, you ask? Well, let me lay it out for you like this. Let's say on your turn you play a double dip action, which allows you to draw a card and then take 2 more bonus actions. For your first bonus action, you play a show your ID card, which lets you steal 3 cards from another person's hand, and boy did you get lucky. Not only did they not have a reaction to protect themselves, they also had a bunch of of thick hams in their hand, which are conveniently now in your hand. And then for your final bonus action, you drop a hoard card, which allows you to draw 2 more cards. Oh look, more hams. And then hoard everything that can be hoarded in your hand. You just added 3 thick hams and 4 regular hams to your hoard in a single turn. Now that's a Wombo Combo. Pull that move off and you'll certainly be a target for the rest of the game, but if you can time it to be close to when all the cards run out, then you'll be in the clear. The game ends when all the cards have either been played or discarded, at which point you'll count up your hoard where each ham is worth 1 point, and whoever has the most thick hams gets an extra 6 bonus points. Tally all of that up and whoever has the most points wins. Anyways, that's pretty much all you need to know about the gameplay, so let's jump into my initial thoughts on Hoard the Hams. Here's what I really liked about Hoard the Hams. First off, it's super easy to get into. I mean, it feels a lot like Uno in that way, where it's almost like everyone already knows the rules of the game, and you can literally just pick it up and start playing it within a minute. I also really like the spread of the combative cards versus the defensive cards. I feel like they're pretty evenly split, and while you won't be able to protect yourself from every attack, if you manage your hand well and nail the timing, you can really punish people for messing with you, which feels extra good when your hoard is starting to pile up. And lastly, I mean, I'd be remiss to not mention the theme and the artwork. This game is light and goofy just like all of the Haminations animations, and all the actions in the game really make you feel like you're just coming up with a storyboard for their next video, which is pretty dang cool. And I mean, just look at those hams, so cute. Anyways, I don't think I have anything particularly negative to say about this game. I mean, some folks might complain that it's a little too light, but it's supposed to be light. And I could also see folks who don't like that direct interaction, take that sort of mechanic, being a little wary of this one. But I think as long as you're messing with everyone and not just picking on one person, it definitely feels more manageable. All in all, I thought that Hoard the Hams checked a lot of boxes by being a really accessible family weight game that encourages interaction, leads to some wild and chaotic combos, and most importantly plays in less than 20 minutes and never overstays its welcome. I had a great time playing it, but this isn't about me, so let's jump into my suggestions where I talk about the types of people that this game would be perfect for. These are the type of people that I think would really enjoy Hoard the Hams. Number 1, if you've got a friend group that loves poking fun at each other, that'll say I love you in one breath and be back to busting your chops in the next. Or better yet, if you have all that built in and you just have siblings, then you should check this one out. Number 2, if you're a big fan of Haminations already, and you've always wanted to know what it feels like to get into the crazy and chaotic antics in their videos, then you should definitely check this one out. And lastly, if you're just looking for a super quick and easy card game with some really cute art matched with some really tricky and chaotic gameplay that feels like it could replace Uno at your next family game night, then might I suggest Hoard the Hams from Wombo Combo Games. Thanks so much for sticking around for today's episode of Fresh from the Cellar. I hope this video gives you a great idea of whether or not Hoard the Hams is for you. And if you want even more info on Hoard the Hams, or you just want to pick up a copy for yourself, don't forget to check the link to the Wombo Combo Games website down below. Anyways, thanks to everyone who's supported me so far. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so I can keep growing this channel and keep helping you find your perfect board game. Once again, this has been a Might I Suggest a Game production, and I'm Alex, your board game sommelier, signing off.